I think that's a very tough question because, of course, it sets a very difficult precedent. Um, I think they probably feel they don't have a choice. I can almost guarantee that theatre owners across the country are saying, what are we going to do? You know, the film comes out at Christmas in America, which is a huge time for movies in America. And if there are threats to theatres at Christmas, it's not only that people aren't going to the interview, the film, they're not going to the theatres, period. And you know, in America, nothing gets people's attention more than if you're going to hit them in the pocketbook.
What would Martin Luther King have done if he was running Sony?
Martin Luther King would never run a film studio. Martin Luther King, for the same reasons that he wouldn't be a politician, he felt that he needed to be a voice for the voiceless. He felt that to be political in any way, to be in a situation even whereby it was deemed that he was making financial gain, would denigrate his position. He gave away the money that was given to him for the Nobel Prize to SCLC, the organization he was the leader of, all because he realized he couldn't afford to be discredited by aligning himself with anything that felt overtly political. Running a company, being a politician, they are all steeped in politics. So, you know, I think Dr. King, the studio boss, is an oxymoron.
But you talked about this being sort of a dream role, a gift.
Yeah, a calling, really. When I first read the script, that's what it felt like to me. And not necessarily to the film, but the man. I share Dr. King's faith in terms of being a Christian. And when I read it, that was what stuck in my spirit. There was something about the man, something about the truth of what he did. He wasn't just a talker, even though he's famous for his oratory. He was a doer. And that's something I hugely admire, generally, but especially from a spiritual point of view. Lots of people talk about their faith, but this is a man who sacrificial love dictated pretty much everything he did, and that's ultimately the price he paid, was his life for this movement. And so having that calling to do this was what basically became the engine that made me stick at it for the 7 years it took to get the film made.